opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network. Any questions or concerns about what is said should be directed to the show host, whose information will be provided upon request.
My brothers keep a show, I gotta let them know. Tuesday, 7 p.m., gotta let them know. 3 M's, mental model, gotta multiply. God gets all the glory, hands in the sky. My brothers keep a show, I gotta let them know. Tuesday, 7 p.m., gotta let them know. 3 M's, mental model, gotta multiply. God gets all the glory, hands in the sky. My brothers keep a show. Introduce the host. My brothers keep a show. Introduce the host. That's the Dr. Michael Green. No, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Gotta let him.
Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to My Brother's Keeper show. I'm your host, Mike Green, and welcome, and hoping you're having the greatest evening in America. If not for me, do it for you because you deserve it. Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on this side of greatness. Of course, it is My Brother's Keeper show, where greater men continue to make men great with a spirit of excellence. And of course, we do know it is a Tony the Tiger terrific Tuesday. It's great. And getting out of the way, housekeeping rules. Like to thank Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh and Durham, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina, New Jersey, Maryland, and Washington, D.C., Virginia area are all in the house. Also, Pomona, California, Ontario, California, under the leadership of Bishop Jelani Kafela, is the Imani Christian Cathedral. Thank you so much for your support. Also, shout out to Bishop James B. Walker of the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, and he's over the 7th Episcopal District, and his continued support, we definitely thank him as well. The call-in number is 301-429-9247, 301-429-WBGR. And remember to please like and share, and also you can pick us up on the WBGR app or downloading Fire Stick, WBGR app on Fire Stick, Roku, as well as the Apple TV. And remember that the show will be on our YouTube channel, so we're asking that you please subscribe and like so that you'll be able to go and tune in even after the show. We'd like to just thank you so much for being a part of My Brother's Keeper. Thank you so much. Just a few more things I'd like to get out the way. We're going to be having our Ministry to Men retreat March the 12th through the 14th. Again, it will be at St. Matthew's CME Church, 923 Cedar Heights Drive, Cedar Heights, Maryland. 20743 is the zip code, and it is $75. Or also, you can go register online at www.stmatthewcme.com. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. And we also want to let you know about our prayer line, that men's prayer line that comes every Saturday morning. We want to also encourage you to also be a part of the prayer call. It's very powerful, and it is definitely a blessing to so many men that are calling in. Sometimes men just need that safe place to just kind of steal away and make their petitions before the Lord. But again, also, just to reiterate about the retreat, Kingdom Man 3 retreat, again, kicking off on March the 12th through the 14th. It's going to be at St. Matthew's CME Church. And again, we're going to kick it off on the 12th with the greeting, and then we're going to do the bonfire, where we're just going to have an awesome time where men are just going to come and get together and just fellowship. We're going to be dealing with the topic of when a man prays, what he receives through his pain. How many know that men are dealing with pain today? But what really happens, or what really is the kicker, is that turning that pain into power. So we're going to be talking about prayer and how to reverse the pain and making that pain into our power to fulfill the purpose for which God has created us. So definitely, we're so excited about that, and we just want to continue to encourage you. Again, you can go online, www.stmatthewcme.com to register $75 for the retreat. It's going to be, like Don Cornelius say, a stone gas. Okay. All right. Our African American person fact is going to be Mr. Paul Robeson. Let me just stop here for a minute. Of course, you're not having any problems with your television or your instrument that you're watching the show. I just want to let you know that I am here. Dr. Brian Champion, he's on leave, and he's doing his fatherly duty, okay? So definitely we send a shout out, and we send all the best and success and prayers to his daughter as she is competing with All-Star Cheerleading. So definitely you don't need to adjust your instrument or your television, because Dr. Champion is on leave, and he checked with the producer as well. Okay. The African American person of interest is Mr. Paul Robeson. Years of life, 1898 to 1976. He was a singer, actor, scholar, athlete, and also an activist. Mr. Paul Robeson, he was the son of slaves. Paul Bastille Robeson earned a law degree from Rutgers University, where he was an All-American football player, also Phi Beta Kappa scholar, and valedictorian of his graduating class. He was disappointed that the United States failed to treat African Americans as equal citizens and thereby dishonored its Constitution. Robeson began to speak out against racial injustices. He was labeled an agitator. He became a subject of the FBI surveillance. Blackballed in the United States, Robeson went to Europe, where he was eagerly accepted and continued his acting and singing career. He was also a supporter of equality and justice. Paul Robeson remained a patriotic American, and at Robeson's funeral, his son eulogized him as a great and gentle warrior. And our person of interest, African American interest of fact, is Mr. Paul Robeson, with his deep baritone voice, and spoke very well. Okay, all right. What I'd like to do now is tell you a little bit about what we experienced last week, where we shared about some numbers, some statistics. We shared half of Americans age 18 and older were married in 2017. However, the divorce rates for Americans is 45 to 50%. The divorce rate, all-time high. So after this commercial break, we're going to who's going to be joining us is a best-selling author, and Toastmasters International has called him one out of the 5 most outstanding speakers in the world. I tell you, that is something to be admired. So we're going to be talking about his new book, his wife, Taylor-Jolley, Dr. Willie Jolley as well. They're going to be coming on after this commercial break, and they're going to be discussing their new book, Make Love, Make Money, and Make It Last. And they have been married over 30 years. Last week we had a couple who were married 7 months, and they added great value. So this week we have the Jolleys, who have been married over 30 years. So actually they have in their book, this is the book of the month of February. This is the book of February, Make Love, Make Money, and Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. It is a good read, ladies and gentlemen. And after this commercial break, they will be coming back and will be sharing with us on the 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. So we'll be right back after this break.
Hey, WBGR Gospel Network family.
Amen.
We just love God. We thank God for all that's happening here. This is a network that promotes people's lives, and we're so thrilled to be a part of that family. And so, hey, we welcome you all to join. If it's not the Gospel Network, it's the entertainment or the sports network. But at the end of the day, know beyond a shadow of a doubt, your life will be empowered to do great and mighty things.
Amen. Sowing good seeds of encouragement, of wisdom, positivity, and just know that God got your back.
Amen.
Give us some praise.
God.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hey guys, I'm Asia Morgan, an intern at WBGR Network and a proud senior of Morgan State University. Here's a few pointers on campus and community safety. Use your eyes and stay alert. Studies show that looking a predator directly in their face causes them to be less likely to choose you as their victim because you then have the means to easily identify them. Focus on your surroundings and not your phone. And never walk alone. Walk in pairs or in groups wherever you go because we are stronger in numbers. If that's not possible, use safety services. Universities have escort services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Take advantage when leaving late night study sessions, parties, or anything else where you will be usually traveling alone. And when using riding services like Lyft or Uber, always check to see that you're getting into the right car. If you're traveling alone, be a backseat rider, buckle up no matter what, and never forget to share the details of your trip with a friend or family member. Lastly, trust your instincts. If you feel like something is wrong, 9 times out of 10, it usually is. Don't ignore that feeling.
Very.
This has been a message from the WBGR PSA Project.
That's good.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show, and we welcome Dr. Willie Jolley and his wonderful wife, Taylor-Jolley. Welcome.
Thank you.
To my brother's keeper.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, a privilege, and a joy to be in the presence of greatness. So,
come on, somebody.
I'm grateful. Anybody knows I always start the same. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. So greetings to you, Reverend Green, and to your producer, and to all our friends, Dr. Champion in his absence. I know he's with his daughter. And a shout out to my guy, Eric Hood.
Yeah.
E. Hood. E. Hood, has been making sure I was on track and on task to be here tonight, because he know my schedule get crazy and I get a lot of stuff, but I said I'm going to be there. So grateful to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Wonderful opportunity. Tell us a little bit about your marriage journey that led up to this great book of the 10 Secrets.
Well, the marriage journey is... you're really getting at... I know what you're really getting at. Everybody want to get at it.
We ended up writing the book
Yes.
because of our son.
Yes.
Our son.
That wasn't what he wanted to get at.
I know, but this is where I'm going.
Okay.
The book was written.
Mama could take control. She got the help.
That's
Go
called
ahead.
a pivot, okay? That's called a pivot.
I'm working at it. We wrote the book
Okay.
because of our son. Our
Yes.
son is William,
Yes.
and who is an attorney
Yes.
in D.C.
Yes.
And at our 30th wedding anniversary, we were going out to dinner, and our son said, "Oh, my friends don't believe that my parents work together, do everything together, and they like each other.
Yeah.
They're like, most of my parents are divorced,
Okay.
and they don't believe it. So, what
And
about
he said,
having..."
and my friends don't believe I've never heard my parents argue.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was important. Yeah.
Wow.
And so he said, so, guys, what about having a few people over when you get back from dinner? We said, oh, okay. Let's have a few people over when we get back from dinner. So when we got in from dinner, there were people everywhere.
About 150 people in our house.
Not quite that many.
Almost,
but there were
almost.
people everywhere.
Okay.
Pizza.
Pizza
and
stacked up and drinks and soft drinks. And
okay, now, guys, here are my friends.
Okay.
Tell them
Wow.
how
It
you
just
guys
said,
do
boom,
this.
and put you on the spot.
Right.
So
And
is your son married?
No.
Not yet. Okay. Okay.
So
Go ahead and say the most important decision that you will make after your faith is who you marry, which is what he pounds in his head all the time. So that is a
Decision.
journey to find the right kind of helpmeet.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand yourself first before you can then identify somebody else that you want to spend your life with.
It's getting heavy in here. It's getting heavy in here.
So we wrote the book after that experience because so many of his friends, after that night, we gave our tips for why we've been married. At that point, we've been married for 30 years and hadn't had an argument in 27, 28
Come on,
years.
Dr. Jolly. Not an argument?
Not 20. We've been married now 35 years.
35. Okay.
We haven't had an argument in 33 years.
Okay.
Now, see, we were on a TV show in Portland, Oregon, and the lady said, almost like where you were going, said, come on now, you never had an argument? And I said, I didn't say that. I said, we haven't had an argument in 33 years.
Yes.
Those first couple years were like World War III.
Okay.
But we learned some principles
Okay.
from some wise mentors that taught us how to get from arguing to get to loving and to get to being really happily married.
Yes, sir.
And
Now-
how to disagree without being disagreeable. That's very important. And I think the nuances are important because it's different than fighting and arguing, which is what we did at a Chinese restaurant. It's very embarrassing.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was
So
bad.
after we were able to get through that, and my husband was wise enough to say, we've got to talk through this because we have a problem.
Yes.
But we got a big
So
one.
I married a wise
Uh-oh.
man. Okay?
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I give God the glory. So, you know,
we learned how to communicate, which is one of the main things that we talk about in our book, because relationships, marriages break up. One of three reasons. Go ahead, sweetie. You can
one
say
of
it.
three reasons break up marriages, big boulders as I call them. Sex, money,
Yes, sir.
and communication.
Yes, sir.
Those
And
are
the
three big.
common thread is communication, because you have to communicate in
Yes.
order to have intimacy and have sex.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And
Gotta
you have
have
to
communicate.
when you're talking about the money.
Yes.
Paying the bills, the mortgage. How much do we have saved? Where's the retirement?
Yes.
All that.
Yes, absolutely. But one of the things that, as I was reading the book, you mentioned a Mr. Benson.
Yes.
And can you give the listening audience the backdrop of Mr. Benson?
Mr. Benson was one of my neighbors, lived almost cat a corner from my house. And he and his wife, Hattie, had been married for 50 years.
Yes, sir.
And when I got married, I went over to him one day. He used to sit on the porch. I went over, Mr. Benson, I need advice on being happily married like
Yes, sir.
you are. He said, okay. He said, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Did you say I do? I said, yes, sir. He said, now do. Do. You love her, treat her with honor, treat her like a queen.
Yes.
If you do that, she'll treat you like a king. So be mindful that you got to do what you said you're going to do. And one of the things that I think has been a big part of our marriage success is I've made a real point, not just an effort, but a point to keep my word.
He's always kept his word to me.
Whatever it is, you
That's
know,
good.
when we got married,
We lived in his mother's attic.
I said, if you live in my mama's attic for
Yes.
a year,
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I promise you I'll buy your house.
And he
Right.
did.
All right.
Because she wanted to get an apartment.
I
Said,
did.
I said, nah, that doesn't really work for me because
I'm cheap.
I'm cheap, frugal, and I like to see my money, make the most of it.
Yes.
And I didn't think that was a good strategy for the long term. So I said, let's save the money and buy something. And
I thought he was very wise in that sense, not to waste money
Wow.
pouring it down the drain,
Yes.
paying rent. But
So,
we saved, and
we
we
did.
moved into
Oh, a year
our
later.
house
A year later.
a year later.
Yep.
And then
Yes.
we renewed our wedding vows.
A year, and next year we moved. So one year we moved in the house. The next year, the same weekend, we did our wedding vow where we paid for the reception.
Yes.
Wow. How important is it to have a mentor?
Well, there are two ways to get to any goal:
Yes, sir.
mentors and mistakes.
Yes, sir.
Now, both will get you there. Probably. But one just gets you there with less headaches,
Yes, sir.
heartaches,
Yes, sir.
knots upside your head,
Yes,
and
sir.
typically gets you there quicker. So I recommend you get a mentor in every part of your life that you want to achieve some excellence.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
you want to be an architect. You get somebody who's architecture at the top of the line and say, teach me what you did. Show me how you did. What are the pitfalls?
Absolutely.
Whatever it is you need a mentor, we got marriage mentors who taught us some of the things we need to be thinking, with some of the things we need to doing. And so now let me tell you the difference. And we consider now this book is for married people. It's a mentor book. It's for mentorship. Now, the difference between mentorship and coaching. We do not do marriage counseling. We don't do coaching because we are not certified marriage counselors or coaches, but we are good mentors because we've been there and we have figured this out.
Yes.
And we
so-
can share the stories as well as the principles that we've learned from our experience.
Now, the difference between mentor and coaching. A mentor has been where you want to get to and can tell you, I've been there, here's what you should be mindful of. A coach might not. Tiger Woods has a coach who's never won the Masters. But Tiger Woods still keeps him, even though he's never won the Masters, because he can tell Tiger Woods, here's where you need to adjust your, I can see things that you should try.
Okay.
Same with Michael Jordan. He had a coach who never won an NBA title. So we say to married couples that it's important that you get mentors. And if you can't be in their physical presence, you can be in their presence via their books, via their
Videos.
audios, their videos. That's why every Monday night now we do Happily Married Monday with the Jollies on Facebook Live.
Yes.
At 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Eastern Time,
Yes.
because we want to offer mentorship in unique ways and using the new technologies. Also, we encourage people to send us emails and say, hey, I want to know about such and such. I got a question, or I need some advice about this or that. And we say, send us email, info@williejolly.com, and we try and address some of those on Monday night. So, mentorship is important.
Well, one of the things that I found very interesting is that you listed the amount of years each couple brought to the table. And I like numbers, so I said, wow, you have 50 years here, 50 years here, 30 years. Beside each couple, you had the numbers, and it totaled 705 years.
Wow! I didn't know that.
First person.
Thank you.
Yes,
We never had it.
705 years of wisdom
Wow.
that you have been mentored by, and I thought that was simply outstanding.
Well, thank you. I never, we never thought
remember
about
that.
So we'll keep that in mind. But
705
we learned from some great mentors, and we took their advice and looked at their models and said, what can we do to improve our marriage? So mentorship is important. And then the next thing we want to talk about that is important is that you take these principles that we have put, methods are many. Principles are few.
Yes.
Methods may change. Principles never do.
Yes, sir.
So success in any venture is about finding hard rock principles.
Yes.
They don't change. Yes. These principles we have written in here don't change, i.e.,
First one.
the first one, friends first. That's the first principle.
Well, I guess I'm just put this on automatic because you're going right at it.
We go in. We go in.
And you're using a scalpel. Go ahead,
Yeah,
bro.
we're going in.
You're doing it.
The friends first is so critically important because we've interviewed these people. We've talked to the people who have had these successful marriages, 705 years, as you have now told us. And every one of them have given certain principles that are consistent.
Wow.
One, that they really like being with each other.
Okay.
Friends.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Now, people get married for all sorts of reasons. We have no idea why people get married. Some people get married because somebody looked good. Somebody had a car. Somebody had some money. Somebody had a house. Somebody can give them a green card. I don't know why people get married. No one knows their motivation but them. But we do know that those who get married and really like each other, really enjoy being around each other,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
tend to have happier marriages.
Wow.
In fact, there's a quote in the book that I love, and that chapter about friends first. The opening quote is really great. It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yes.
That's true.
Wow.
You know, people who we hang around dig each other. I just like to say it the old way. Just dig each other. Just dig hanging out with each other.
So sometimes the question becomes, I'm not sure I married my best friend. We often go in different directions. What can I do to change the situation?
Yeah, we've gotten that a couple of times. People say, I've been married for 15 years or 20 years or more. And I realized after reading your book, I'm not married to my best friend.
Oh my God.
What do I do now? That's what we get to. What do I do now? Well,
There's still hope.
there's hope. Because what we tell them is you befriend your mate. You befriend. Just like you would befriend somebody who is coming along who needs friendship. You befriend them.
And then they'll say, well, what does that look like? So what does that look like?
So we asked them to do it, and they got exercise. So I would ask you, do you have a best friend that you've known most of your life?
Yes.
All right. And y'all have been friends for a long time?
Yes.
And you don't always agree?
Well, we're talking about female.
Whatever, female or male, just a
male.
friend.
Just a good
I
friend.
do. Yeah.
You got a friend who
Good
you've
friend.
known all your life.
Yeah.
Or since kindergarten or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So this is somebody. Now, what makes you and him a best friend or her or whatever? Are there some qualities? Can you articulate? Well, they're usually things like I think my no drama. To when I think about my best friends, we always don't agree, but we do it in a fun way.
They have empathy.
They know me.
listen.
They feeling me.
Okay.
They understand me.
Okay.
No drama. We're friends, and they forgive me and take me as I am.
You get to
All
laugh.
right. So you
together.
write those down on a piece of paper.
Yes, sir.
And then say to your significant other,
Right there. Okay.
here's what makes my and y'all trade off. Here's why
Acceptance.
so and so is my best friend, and your wife will say, well, here's why Susie is my best friend, and you understand what they look for in a friend, best friend. Then you try and be mindful of that.
Yeah. No drama's good.
No drama.
But where, okay, out of all of these, where does the love come in? Because looking at some stats, we did a show last week. We did a show with a young couple who was just still, and they were 7 months. 7 months, but they've been together 2 years, but they were just married for 7 months. And the blessings of God was upon them. And they just expound so much wisdom in the 7 months because they were mentored. And someone took the time to pour into them. And they were truly a blessing. But many times couples marry out of love.
Yeah, they do like marry out of love for the moment.
So 80%, the numbers say 80%. So where does love come with accept me as I am?
What is love?
So
Okay,
here, first of all, chapter number 3.
Okay.
Love is an emotion.
Yes, it is.
Marriage is a decision.
Come on.
All right.
Come on.
Okay, love is an emotion, and emotions change.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody's emotion changes.
Ladies and gentlemen, did y'all hear that? Marriage is a decision, but love is an emotion.
Yeah, and decisions are thoughtful processes.
Yes.
I thought about this. So I was attracted to her. We were friends. I enjoyed being around her.
We had the same values.
Had a lot of value.
But we were learning about it.
But I had been attracted to women all my life. Okay.
Quite a charming young man.
Hey, you know what? Hold 1 second, Dr. Jolley. we share something in common.
Yeah.
Not the women. Not the women. But yeah, women. Well, yeah. But your birthday is September 3rd, and mine is the 4th. So we share. My
brother.
You're a great man.
My man. So I had, lady friends, and they were attractive. They were sexy. They were good looking, and so that was not anything new. What was new was how much I enjoyed being around her.
Yes.
I just liked being around her. We talked about ideas. She stimulated me intellectually.
Not just physically.
Not just physically.
All right.
Okay.
That's true.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that was one of the reasons why I knew that the love was going to be there. But I still had to make a conscious decision. Remember what I told my son. Most important decision you'll ever make next to your faith is who you marry. Because that person is going to be responsible for 90% of your misery or 90% of your joy. So choose well.
Whoa.
So
you gotta
just
choose.
emotion.
You put it down.
Yeah. And that's a decision.
Yes, sir.
Oh, speaking of which, before we go too far, somebody might have to jump off. We're having our marriage seminar. Because I want to make sure people know.
It's running in there it is.
It's in the background.
Right there.
Okay.
It's this Saturday.
Yes.
And it's going to be available two ways. You can be live in our audience with us, or you can be from the convenience of your home. We're making it possible for you to stream it as well. So you go to, it's called Make Love, Make Money, Make Magic. How many want some magic in their relationships?
All right.
So go to jollymarriage.com/magic. Jollymarriage.com/magic and register. And let me tell you, it's $197 for both of you. Okay, it's $197 for both of you. Now, one time I thought, man, $197, is that a lot of money? Until I saw the movie Marriage Story.
Everybody should see that.
We saw that because we were studying, marriage, and we kept hearing about this marriage story. So we got the movie and we watched it. And it was about a couple who worked together, who were married and worked together. He was a director, she was an actor in Broadway. But over time, they fell out of communication. And their marriage started to...
They started taking each other for granted
Yep.
and making certain assumptions about what each other thought.
And they woke up one day and was out of love. And so they said, well, this ain't working no more. They really needed our book, okay? They needed the book. But anyway, they just said, we're gonna divorce, and we're gonna do it amicable.
We're going to do a no fault
No fault.
divorce.
We're just gonna, with no lawyers, no nothing, we're just gonna divorce.
Save money.
But she got a job in California, a temporary acting position. She went out to do the acting job, and a lady on the set said, how's your husband? Said, well, we're going to get a divorce. She said, you better get you a lawyer. Here, I'm going to have my lawyer call you. I just got a divorce. So this lawyer calls her and talks her into...
So she got swept up.
Yeah.
Got swept away.
And next thing you know, the husband comes to visit the son who's with the wife, and he gets served papers by the lawyer. And then he got to get a lawyer. And then this is the most profound part of this experience. He's sitting at a desk writing a check for the initial down payment on the divorce lawyer. And he writes out the figure, $25,000. $25,000 for the initial
deposit
for the divorce lawyer.
Now we can bring that home because we have a friend. We were with them at the beginning of their marital relationship.
And we went through the points with them. Wow. And we talked to them. But they did not want to listen. And here's what was so, they got married, and within a year they doing marriage seminars. Or they just talking about marriage. I never forget, they doing marriage seminars.
We were like,
and
this was well before. We were like, oh, okay.
They
know something we don't know.
They do marriage seminars on how to be happily married. And we said, that don't make much sense here. And so she decided she didn't want to be married no more one day. And so she pulled out. And he didn't want to go through divorce, but she served him and said, I want a divorce. So he didn't have to get a lawyer. He paid $150,000 for his divorce, not wanting a divorce. And so I say that to say, $197 compared to $150,000 or $25,000? Man, it's... Come to that seminar. Don't delay. Run. Don't walk. Go to jollymarriage.com/magic. Sign up today. So we want to save some marriage. Our goal when we wrote this was to save 1 million marriages and enhance 1 million more. We are on our way to that goal because people are calling saying, I had filed for divorce or I was planning for divorce and I read your book and my husband read the book and it gave us a new perspective. Because we talk really honest.
Practical information.
Right.
And we share our own story.
Yeah. And when we talk about sex, we ain't pulling no punches.
Yes, sir.
We ain't pulling no punches.
You know what? Can I set you up for this one?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you tell me, can you tell the audience about the aspirin, the headache?
He did read the book.
You read the book. And you see some of our video. So, chapter number 8 in the book is the sex chapter. And it's entitled Sex, Headaches, and Other Lies. And it was brought to us by our friend Jane Herlong in South Carolina, whose mama told her on her wedding day, baby, don't you ever have no headache with your husband. Don't ever have no headache. Because understand, when you have a headache, there's a woman somewhere with an aspirin in her pocketbook.
But women have headaches for numerous reasons.
What are they?
Because how women and men see sex very differently.
But we saying they don't know how to see it different. That's why they have these mysterious headaches, which make the man go look for the lady with the aspirin. All right. So women and men. So we want to talk about the fact that men and women see sex differently.
Yes.
And if you don't understand that they see things differently, you will go in thinking they got to see it like you do. So
that's why communication, again, is so important in terms of the talking, in terms of the listening, in terms of the questioning to make sure you understand what your mate is talking about.
Right. So, here's how women see. Men, listen carefully. Men folk, y'all listen to me carefully. Women see this whole issue differently. Women need 2 things. And don't you ever forget it. They need intimacy and security. They need it desperately. That's what they got to have. Don't be fooling around with their intimacy or their security. The intimacy is not always sex.
That's it.
But if you're great with the intimacy, the sex will follow.
Come on.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Dun, dun.
Dun, ba, ba, ba. Now, intimacy is when they get warm on the inside. They feeling warm and fuzzy on the inside. And that takes time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you got to take your time. So that whole thing of coming to the bed and saying when you get home in bed, you ready? That ain't the way to get this done, yo. That ain't the way to make it. Here's what I tell you.
Teach, brother,
if
teach.
If you want to get some action at night, you need to start working on it in the morning.
Yes,
Come on, am I right about it?
Yes,
Because see, here's the deal. Women are crock pots. They're crock pots.
You got to set them in the morning, huh?
Yeah, take this slow cooking. Oh, it'll cook, but you got to slow cook it. Now, men are microwave ovens. You hear the pop? Boom! You're ready to go. All right. So tell the ladies what men need. As I've told them, intimacy and security. What the men gotta have.
Sex.
What was that?
Sex. And respect.
Sex and respect. Look, studies have proven it out. Men are diagrammed, composed.
They're programmed that they think about sex at least 17 times a day. Sometimes that's before breakfast.
That's right. Before breakfast. They done thought about it 17 times. And so, that's how their minds
And that's
work.
just before we leave the house.
That's right. So, men need sex. It's a physical, like they need breathing. They need water. They need sex. And they need respect.
Yes.
They need to feel like they're the man of the house. When you emasculate a man, that's over.
Yeah. And that's going back to that authoritative place with Adam. You know, the authority that he had in the garden. So.
Look, men need to feel like I'm the man of the house. Now, let me tell you how I've handled that. So y'all know, when I got married, first of all, my wife had been married once before. Second, that only lasted 2 years. She was separated.
But not divorced.
Not divorced.
Because I was never going to get married again in life.
All right, so she was,
never.
She only married a couple years, then she separated like 10 or 12 years.
So you put some work in.
Did I? Oh my God! Now, when first of all, she'd been married before. Second of all, she was really smart, really smart. My mama told my brother and I when we were coming up. She said, "Never marry a dumb woman because you want to marry somebody smarter than you." I did that. Now, she was smart. She also was independent, and she was a brilliant analytical thinker. I knew I'd married well, but I said, okay, hold on. How do I work this out with this situation of man of the house? I said, here's what I do. I went to her, I said, let me tell you, here's what I need. Just let me think I'm in charge. Make me think I'm in charge, let me think I'm in charge, and we good to go. And she said,
I can do that. But think about the confidence that you have to have to be able to say that to your wife. Okay, I know you got that all together. Just make me think. I'm running the show.
Okay.
Because I looked at her parents. Her father was a pastor. Fire and brimstone. Head of the house. Head of the church. He's a pastor. But his wife ran everything. She ran everything. And he respected her, but she always made him feel like he was the head of the house. Even though she was
King of the castle.
King of the castle. But she was running everything. I said, that's smart. Okay? So we want to say to people that the marriage is a powerful part. So we've talked about being friends. We've talked about making a decision.
We didn't talk about God.
Yeah.
But chapter number 2 is we have learned from mentors and from our experience, you need to make God an equal part. In fact, the majority owner of the marriage. We see marriage as a triangle. And that triangle has 3 corners. If you take 100% of that triangle, one corner would have 33%, another corner would have equal 33%. That leaves 34%, which is at the top. That's God. So me, her, and God. And he gets the majority. And all our decisions filter up through him. What does he have to say about it? And that's why we learned that it was one of the keys to our marriage. The other thing about that is that we prayed for wisdom. We prayed for wisdom, and we also realized that God ordained it. Now, we all take these vows when we get married. And see, the problem is the vows are nice words that we say we're going to do. But
until there's a problem.
Until there's a problem. Until there's a problem. So here are the things. The the vows say, I take you, Susie Q, for richer for poor, in sickness and health, for better for worse. Do you agree? Yes. But they never considered
or discussed
what's worse. What's really worse?
What's that worst case
What does
scenario?
it look like? What is worse? So it came to us when we were we had written the book. All our principles we knew, everything we knew, we had put in the book. I'm ready to let it go. Mm-hmm. My wife said, no, not quite ready yet. We've been working a little while. So I listened. And I said, okay. And about 4 or 5 months later, it came to me while we were waiting. Because it was something that would have never happened, or we would never learn this lesson without this experience. I grew up in inner city D.C., row house, Northwest. 3 doors down was a family, husband, wife, 4 children. Those 4 children were my playmates. My brother and I, they'd come over our house, we'd go over their house, and we had a great friendship. We all grew up together, the 4 of them, the 2 of them, my brother and I, and then we went off to college and started living our own life and went on about our business. But their parents still lived in the house. And as I got older and got married and moved, I rolled by every now and then to check on the house or come see my relatives. I see that husband and wife in their 60s and their 70s, even in their 80s on the porch, holding hands and rocking in their rocking chair. So the last time I saw them, they were in the mid-80s, holding hands on the rocking chair. I stopped and talked to him. He said, man, I see you on TV. I see you. Man, I'm so proud of you. I said, well, thank you. A few months later, right after we were in this 5th or 6th month after I thought the book was done, he died. And they asked if I would eulogize him. I said, sure. Got to the church to eulogize him, and the presider was another minister from the neighborhood who said, hey, I'm going to be presiding today. He said, now, you read the obituary? I said, no, I've just got the program. He said, you better read it. And the obituary said he had 6 children. How many did I say he had? 4. Yeah, 4. I said, 6? I ain't no 6 children. Yeah, I know him. I know her. He said, you didn't know, did you? I said, no, what? He had 2 children with women in the neighborhood. Out of wedlock. 2 different women had children by him. And his wife stayed with him. I eulogized him. He was a bigger-than-life character. I eulogized his life, but I honored his wife. I said, you're a godly woman, and I'm grateful for you. At the repast, I went over to her to talk to her. She said, you didn't know, did you? I said, no, ma'am. She said, well, I stayed. I said, okay. She said, I kept my vow. For rich or for poor, sickness or health. Better or worse. That was the one. She said, I kept my vow.
So here's something to think
My
about.
question to y'all is, what's worse for you? Go ahead.
Yeah. What is your worst?
What is your worst?
You talk about that.
Were you asking
with
him?
Your mate.
I'm asking them.
Okay, she was asking you. You was asking him. No, I'm teasing.
Let me tell you my worst. My worst, I told her when we got married. I said, look, this is for life. I'm in it for the rest of my life. Now, you got an out. I'm going to give you an out. You die, you good. You die, you good. Other than that, ain't no outs.
Ain't no outs.
Why was that question after you were married? Why, shouldn't I have that discussion beforehand?
You should.
Most people don't discuss
But nobody
that.
does that. They take the vow, but they don't discuss it.
Just think about that.
Make the decision to make it last.
Yeah, you got to
and this is about
decide.
the book. You know, he
Right.
waited for that
Now,
last
we had to wait
revelation.
for that story to get in the book.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it is such a powerful story, but
Yes.
I thought the book was done. But it was the lessons we learned that second year, after we have taught all we know, that God started saying, let me pull stuff. And it gave us access to people who've been married 50, 60, and 70 years where we interviewed them. Like one lady who'd been married 60 years said, when you meet your prospective spouse, I want you to spend time with them. Find out if they are the real person or a representative. Oh, all right. Are they a suspect or a prospect? Come on
Yes,
now.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so you got to spend time
Yes,
with
sir.
them.
Yes, sir.
And she said that's very important. So we wrote that in the book. These were these little tidbits they would say.
And so the information then is it makes you stop and think. Well, maybe I do need to have a conversation with you about that.
Yeah.
Is adultery off the table? So if one of us, And then Cheryl asked me a question about that today. She says, well, she was listening to a program and several ladies were saying, well, if it's adultery, this word called mental adultery, you're not physically having intercourse with an emotional affair. That grounds to leave. I said, is an emotional affair grounds to leave? You know what? I said, based upon the knowledge I have now, I would have to say, you can't answer that question for somebody else because you know the mud in the middle that has gone on to get there. An emotional affair? So that means there's a communication problem.
Yeah. Well, I told her, one more thing I told her.
To have a communication problem.
I told her, I said, if you leave me, I'm coming with you, first. And second, if you leave me for another man, I'm coming with y'all. I'm being in bed with y'all. How you doing? How's things going? Everything had a good day today? Make it clear.
You off the chain. Listen. Last week I think week before last, Beverly, she did a leadership. Many people communicate, but few connect, and everyone communicates, but few connect. Powerful workshop, and it definitely was a blessing. So being able to connect, meaning that you gotta, before I start talking, we gotta connect. We have to have some type of value, something that is that we're sharing together.
Well, a lot of marriages don't do that.
Yes.
They don't connect. They don't communicate. They come in from work.
They have different communication styles.
Yes.
So if you have not studied your mate, if you have not studied the people in your work environment, if you have not studied the people that you interact with at church, then how do you know how to connect? You can't do that.
Yeah. Wow.
So a couple more things. We only got a few more minutes, but I do want to make sure that you know that Monday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Please join us.
Facebook Live,
Willie.Jolley. Now, I want to send you a free chapter from the marriage book, my gift to you. I want to send it to you because we want people to stay married. So send me an email at info, INF as in Frank, O, at williejolly.com. This is probably the most powerful, the biggest chapter of the whole book. It's the longest chapter. I will send that to you, my gift, because I'm serious about saving marriages. All you got to do is send me an email and say, I want the chapter. That's all you got to do, info at williejolly.com. I will send you the chapter, my gift to you. It will be powerful.
Wow.
And that's chapter number. That's about the communication and how to talk and what are things to do and
because it's not just the words.
Yes.
It's also the inflection of your voice. It's also the physical interaction in terms of how you respond to each other. It's the eye contact. It's all of those things. And there can be inconsistencies of the body language and the intonation of the voice as opposed to what you say.
Let me give you one more. And two. That's chapter number 6. Now, she mentioned Chinese food. Did she mention that?
Yes, she did.
All right. And I don't want to leave people hanging. They're going to say, what happened to the Chinese food? So this was the night we almost broke up.
Okay.
We've been married a couple years. We in our new home. Her brother's coming to visit from Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
I know he likes Chinese food. I say, let's do Chinese. Get some Chinese food for them for dinner, he and his wife. I'm a Chinese food connoisseur.
Okay.
Aficionado. I know every good Chinese food restaurant in the area.
Okay.
I know the ones that give you the big portions. My wife, on the other hand, know nothing about Chinese food.
Okay.
She doesn't even like Chinese food. She'll eat it, but she doesn't like it. I love it, okay? And so, and not only do I like it a lot.
Okay.
So I say, let's go get my favorite place to give us big portion. We go to the place.
Chinatown, hole in the wall.
There you go, but it's good food. And I say, okay, to the lady, here's what we need. That. And that's what we need. And she said, that's not enough. I don't want to look chinchy to my brother.
I wanted to impress my brother.
Yes.
This was his first time coming to visit us as a married couple, and I didn't want him to think that we couldn't even afford to provide a full course meal.
Now let me put a little pin right here. I am cheap, frugal. All right. I make $1 holla. I don't waste money.
Yes, sir.
And I know if we got too much, we would waste money. And Chinese food reheated is
I
not
don't
good.
understand that.
If you're a
I will
connoisseur,
save and reheat anything.
no, you can't. It's not the same. So we stand in a Chinese restaurant. I say to her, here's what we need. She said, no, we need twice as much. I said, no, that's all we need. I'm telling you. She said, no. I said, I know what I'm talking about. She
He's
said,
getting
no.
louder.
And I'm getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And I start hollering. And she puts
You
her
see, he
finger.
talks loud anyway.
She puts her finger in my face and
Very
says,
passionate.
yes.
Oh, okay, I like that. Passionate.
She puts her finger in my face and said, I will leave you. Everybody remember this phrase, dial it back. Just like you dial back a volume, you dial it back. I had to dial it back. I said, okay. I got what she wanted. We went home. We had a dinner. But after they left, I said, we need to talk about this. And she said, I don't like nobody raising their voice at me. My daddy didn't do it. My brother didn't do it. Nobody raised their voice. It's disrespectful. I don't like it. It makes me angry. And I said, okay, check. I'll never do that again. And I said, I don't like nobody threatening to leave me. And we made it a vow that night. I would never raise my voice, and she would never threaten to leave
So
me.
what we were developing.
And we got rules of engagement. We got 60 seconds.
Okay.
I want to make sure they go to this. Go to there. Go there, because we ain't got much time yet. I want y'all to go to jollymarriage.com/magic. jollymarriage.com/magic. Sign up for the seminar. We got so much more. We got so much more to talk about sex, about communication, about money. We haven't even gotten that. Yeah. Go ahead.
But no, I want you to finish this story. You got time to finish that. I know time is upon us, but we're gonna close out with this, brother.
When I see the numbers going, I start.
I understand.
We ended up developing what we call the rules of engagement.
Yes.
How to disagree without being disagreeable.
Yes.
Rules of engagement. And so we have rules of engagement. And so one night, her birthday, in fact, we got a call from my niece. She and her husband had a major blow up. I mean, it was catastrophic. And she said, we got to have a conversation with you tonight. So we said, we'll call you when we get in. Called, and she said, we got to tell you what happened. And she went with, here's what happened. And he said, well, here's what she said. And I said, ho. And they going down the list of laundry. I said, stop. All of that is immaterial. It's not important. Because what the problem is, you don't have a system. I can tell right now, you don't have a system. You need a system. And if I can help you get a system, which we got, it'll take care of every one of those arguments. They tried our system. We went there for Thanksgiving last year. They were happy as could be. Yeah. They used the system.
Rules of engagement. So
we're grateful. The book is called Make Love,
Make Money,
Make It Last.
And also, you did mention that you were on Sirius XM 141. What day? What time?
Saturday is 4:00. Re-airs Monday morning at 8, Tuesday evening at 6, and Wednesday morning at 11. Channel 141, Sirius XM. Saturday at 4, though. Listen. But let's say I don't have Sirius XM, but I want to hear your message. I want to hear your interview with T.D. Jakes and John Maxwell and Colin Powell and whoever, Gladys Knight. Get it on my podcast. Absolutely free, 24/7.
So how do they get your podcast?
Go to iHeart Radio, C-Suite Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, or Apple Podcasts. Look for Willie Jolly Wealthy Ways Podcast. Bing! Listen to me. One man, he listened on the way to work. He said, I drive an hour, come back home, I get another podcast. He said, I've doubled my income in a year.
Wow.
Would like to bring you back on that note.
All right, about the money, honey.
Like to bring you back on that note.
Oh, one thing, go to the jollymarriage.com and register. But go to jollymarriage.com, get the package.
Yes.
The package. That's what we recommend. $149 is the package. It's 2 books, one for each one of you. We recommend you both read the book at the same time. You get 2 workbooks. So you can go through the process. Workbook. Yes. You get the audio book read by us, 7 discs. You can play in the car, play around the house, and you get the seminar on CD, 2 CDs,
hours.
2 hours that we did at Grace Church that is phenomenal.
Yes.
I must say, this is one of those times that came through us and not from us.
Yes.
And so go get that $149. It will bless your marriage.
Amen. Thank you so much for coming and sitting and just sharing your wisdom. And sharing your wisdom and blessing the people. We're God thankful for you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having us. And Brother Brian Champion, thank you for inviting us. And we want to thank you for your graciousness and for reading the book.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. So,
ladies and gentlemen, make love, make money, make it last. 10 keys to a jolly good marriage. Can you get this on
Amazon?
Amazon.com?
But we recommend you get it. Go to get the package. That way we will sign the books. They become collector's items.
Yes.
You sign them if you buy them from our website, and then they're collectors. Remember, you want the free chapter? info@williejolly.com. I'll send it to you.
And we're going to put it on the in the thread as well. Definitely. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely thank you for your time, but unfortunately our time is up, and we thank you for yours. Remember, when good people stand together, we become greater. I am my brother's keeper, and see you on the other side of greatness. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you.
Jolly out.
Jolly out.
Jolly out.
My brother's keep
Up top.
All right.
God bless.
3 M's meant to model, gotta multiply. God gets all the glory, hands in the sky. My brother's keep a show, I gotta let him know. Tuesday, 7 p.m., gotta let him know. 3 M's meant to model.
I never know what's coming out of his mouth.
But we are know.
You're holding on.
And I'm holding on to her. You're holding on to me.
I'm going with you. Wherever you're going, I'm going with you.
I'm going with you. Wherever it is,
Can you go ahead and get a picture of us?
Yeah.